Welcome to our webinar, ladies and gentlemen. It's a joint webinar, Mypv today, together with SMA. It's about me to welcome you. My name is Reinhard Hofstetter. I'm the trainer at Mypv, and I would like to welcome you together with my charming colleague from SMA, Isabel Sanchez. And we are going to show you together how you can combine our solutions for on-grid systems. I would like to start with a short introduction. At the CEO's place at Mypv is Dr. Gerhard Rimpler. He's the founder of Mypv, and his knowledge, his background was the base for all our solutions. His background is the solar electronics side. And with me in the webinar room is Talal Bhatt, our international sales manager. And Talal, just a few words. Please introduce yourself to our audience. You are still on silent, Talal.
Okay. Sorry for that. So hi everybody. Thanks, Reinhard. So a short word from my side would be I'm from my background electrical engineer and worked previously as a research assistant in the field of photovoltaics. And now for the past couple of months, I have been part of Mypv and responsible for the international sales. So I will be your contact person in regards to sales, and I will be available in the chat for your questions. And yeah, off to you, Reinhard.
Thank you, Talal. And now to my background. My background before I started at Mypv, it was around about 6 years ago, it's the solar thermal side. So I know everything about pumps and valves and solar thermal collector systems. And from that point of view, I'm pretty aware of the fact that these old conventional solar thermal systems are now at the end of their lifetime. We have nowadays photovoltaics. By using cables instead of pipes, we are creating the thermal production, the heat production with power from the sun many times easier. And nowadays we are making it also cheaper than using collector systems and pipings. The history of Mypv is relatively young. This year we have our 10-year anniversary, and our latest milestones this year in 2021 is that we built a new company building. We have to increase our production capacities because our topic, hot water from photovoltaics, is a very successful story. And due to that, we have to increase our capacities for offices and for the production as well. And now, Isabel, it's up to you to introduce yourself and SMA, please. You are already on silent. Now you're here. You're on.
Hello, everybody. I'm Isabel Ballesteros. I'm working for the company SMA. My background, as Talal, I'm an electrical engineer and working since 2008 in SMA, always with the Sunny Island inverters. And well, in the beginning we had only the off-grid part, and now, the Sunny Island is the all-arounder. It works for on-grid and off-grid, and I take care of the complete system. It doesn't matter if it is off-grid or on-grid. In this case, I would like to talk about the on-grid systems with home manager, battery inverters, PV inverters, and so on. So that's why I'm here to present this system solution. I'm not sure, can I pass? Yeah. So maybe as a first introduction for the SMA, I don't have a lot of slides about the company. It's a company that this year will be already 40 years old. We started with the production of PV inverters, and after that we started with battery inverters and energy management systems. That is what we will talk today. And we think that the future of the energy supply has begun. Why? Because every day more and more people is not just trying to produce their own electricity. And not only their own electricity, they wish to use this own electricity by their own consumption And of course, once you are producing your energy and you are consuming it, or you have your own consumption, you wish to take as much as possible to save in the electricity tariff. So in this way, you get more independent and the systems get more decentralized. So, we are going on the future, or what we are thinking about that will bring us the future, is that we are going out of the fossil fuels and we are being sustainable and using renewable energies to supply ourselves. So this is more or less little moving. What the systems are doing, or a little information about the world of the energy. Because the decentralized solar power is becoming cost effective as the panels prices goes down. Also, the inverters prices goes down, and every day more and more people want to be more independent. So first of all, in the first graphic, we can see that the solar power is becoming more cost effective than another, or more or less like the another energy sources. We can see also that the PV installations are growing every year. So we expect that in 2030 more than 300 gigawatt of power installed, and we believe, or we are really sure that the storage systems needs to be there to compensate fluctuations in the grid. So it is a really important point to calculate or to think about in battery systems or storage systems to be able to compensate the fluctuations in the power line. So we are trying to drive in the change with our products. And it's your turn now, Reinhard.
Thank you, Isabel, for this kind introduction. The topic from Mypb, the solutions that we invented, they deal with the topic hot water from photovoltaic. So it's mainly about an alternative form of energy storage. Isabel mentioned that renewables are fluctuating. So the most common way to save the energy, to store the energy, is a battery storage. Of course, this is a very important part of the transition to renewable energy, but it needs more than that. We think at Mypb that we need every storage capacity that is available, and thermal storage is just another example how we can keep the energy in the building and we avoid feeding into the power grid. So this is the topic. So when we look at single family houses, most common battery capacities are somewhere around 5 kilowatt hours, 10 kilowatt hours. I'm talking about single family homes now. And I have to excuse myself, Isabel, this is a relatively small storage capacity that is still relatively expensive. So one way is to have a cheaper alternative to a battery system, and this is a hot water solution from Mypb. And see there, in a 300 liter hot water tank, we can store 15 kilowatt hours of energy when we increase the temperature to a certain level. So number one is, yes, we can be a cheaper alternative. Number two is, we do not compete with batteries. So they are it's absolutely clear. They are a very important part of the transition to renewable energies. And together with SMA, we can be used in both ways. Even if there is no battery, it works. And when there is a battery, for example, with SMA Sunny Home Manager, then it works also. So it's up to the planner, up to the customer to decide what kind of system he wants to install. We are flexible here. But we think that we need more than the battery to save the energy, the fluctuating renewable energy. And this is our business. most of the people are aware of the fact how much power they are consuming in their single-family homes. So for a European standard single-family household, this means an energy amount of around about 4,000 kilowatt hours per year. And people know this pretty well because one time per year the energy supplier is sending us the bill that we have to pay. Just a few people know that we need approximately the same amount of power for hot water heating. And of course, we can cover this energy area to a huge amount of the year also from photovoltaics. This is possible. And we are doing this hot water topic for many years now, very successful. Newer topic, a young topic, is the space heating from photovoltaics, and therefore it requires a very efficient building. So otherwise this would not make any sense. Today we are going to focus more on hot water heating here. And the question is, how much self-utilization ratio is possible in a single family home? We want to keep the energy inside the building. We want to avoid feeding into the power grid. And by the way, there are a lot of countries out there where it's not allowed to feed into the grid at all. For example, South Africa, to have one example. It's not allowed to feed into the power grid there. So we want to keep the energy in the building. We want to avoid the shutdown of the PV inverter, and we have to store the energy somehow. For a European single-family house, an average self-consumption ratio is around about 1/3. The rest of the energy goes back to the grid because the production on the roof is available when we do not need the energy in the building. So number one way to improve that is to install a battery. And yes, we increase the self-utilization ratio to more than 60% in this example, but we have to take a huge investment here. The alternative would be to use a hot water solution from Mypb, and at lower investment, we can increase the self-consumption ratio to 80% in this example of a 5 kilowatt peak single family home. But we do not compete with batteries. If there is a battery which is controlled by SMA, we can combine our solutions, and then we can see that we achieve more than 90% of self-utilization ratio. If the battery is there, then the charging of this battery should have priority before we do hot water heating with the Mypb solution. Why is that? Once it is heat in the hot water boiler, we cannot get back electricity out of it. That's clear. Electrical energy has the highest value in scientific terms, in economic terms. So power to heat is always the last application for the excessive power. But even on spring days, we see that sometimes during the late morning, the battery reaches the state of full charge. And from this moment forward, we have more than enough excessive power available to do the hot water heating as well. This is the idea when we are combining both solutions, battery and hot water heating. And now we are taking a closer look on the Mypb solutions which are compatible to SMA. For on-grid systems, of course, Mypb offers its own power meter to detect the excessive energy in the feed-in point, but it's not required to install this device when we have an SMA signal source available. When we are on the local area network, we can receive this excessive power information from SMA. And there are two solutions which can work with SMA on the grid. One tip at this point, the Acle, which I'm going to introduce later, is also capable to work with SMA Sunny Island in off-grid systems by frequency control. This is a very special application for off-grid systems. I think Isabel is the absolute pro on that topic. Today we are going to talk about on-grid systems. So the first solution that I'm going to introduce is the AC-ELVA-E. The abbreviation ELVA means nothing less than electric water heater. That's it. Basically, it's an immersion heater, and on the immersion heater is the Mypb power stage, and this power stage makes this immersion heater now PV ready. It makes it photovoltaic ready in terms of linear power control. the amount of excessive power in our building is something that changes permanently. Not only the PV power is changing, also loads in the building are switched on and off permanently, and the balance in the feeding point, the amount of energy which is too much, changes all the time. And the ACLYE adjusts the power output accordingly. The power range is between 0 and 3000 watts. It is an immersion heater with a 1.5-inch connection thread, so you can easily assemble it in a hot water boiler or in a storage tank. And it takes the energy that is available always from a normal socket. But we just take the amount of power out from this socket, which is available as excessive power. And the information, how much is available, is sent to the device by the SMA units. Here is a battery in this example, but as I mentioned, it also works without a battery. When there is the SMA Sunny Home Manager, when there is the SMA Energy Meter, it does not matter if there is a battery or not. It's basically a fully integrated solution. So the resistor, the electric heating element, comes together with the power stage, which includes the know-how from Mypv. And this is essential for hot water heating. Our way of doing the linear power control is actually by using the same technology as a PV inverter does. So we can adjust the power output very fast and very accurate. And for SMA Sunny Home Manager, it's also possible to have more than one device in the system. And then there is another solution. So imagine this ACLYE here cannot be used. For example, it cannot be used because there is no 1.5-inch connection thread available on the tank, or it should not be used because there is already a standard electric heater in the tank, an immersion heater which is basically just switched on or off. It's not PV ready, it's not smart. Then the solution is the Actor instead of the ACLYE. So imagine an ACLYE, we removed the immersion heater from the power stage, and instead of this immersion heater we have a main socket on the device. And here we can plug in immersion heaters, infrared panels or electric heating mats. Basically any ohmic load can be connected here, and we make it PV ready in terms of linear power control. And the Actor comes with very much unique sales points. Number one, there is the size, it's very small. Then there is a color touch display on the device. It's very intuitive to control. And then there's unique sales point number three, it's everything pluggable here, which makes the installation time very short. It keeps it very short. And for the international markets outside Europe, there is also an adapter integrated in the box for this European main socket here. Then there's also one temperature sensor with the device. In every case, it has a length of 5 meters, and it's also pluggable because it's pre-wired on this orange plug here. And when it's installed like this on the right side of the screen, then all the wires and all the cables, they disappear behind the cover, and then it also looks nice. It looks in a way which we recommend for our product. Then there's unique sales point number 4. We are open for third-party control, and this is exactly the point which makes us compatible to SMA. It's not necessary to use the Mypb power meter to detect the excessive power. We can receive the excessive information from SMA. Here we have all the technical data. I'm not going into every detail here. You are going to receive the slides that we are presenting today after the webinar, and then you can go through these slides at the later point. So we skipped the slide here, and we are directly coming to the bigger version of the Actor now, which we call Actor 9S. And now it's a 3-phase 9 kilowatt power stage included in the same case as the single-phase version. The single-phase version is able to control the power output from 0 to 3 kilowatts, and the 9S is able to control the power output from 0 to 9,000 watts. And again, everything is pluggable here. Of course, we have removed the European main socket here, but also for the 3 phases, everything is pluggable. And when we are looking at other power stages, three-phase power stages on the market, we see that they are actually just controlling one and the same phase only. And as soon as there is enough excessive power available, they're just switching on a second phase or a third phase. They are always controlling one and the same phase only. Basically, the Actor 9S has the same principle, but what can Mypb do better? We can change the control phase from output 1 to output 2 to output 3, which means we can control each power output here linearly, not simultaneously, but one after the other. And now we have new applications possible. So we can also install 3 single-phase loads now. These 3 single-phase loads, they can have a different amount of nominal power. Now this is also very flexible. It does not have to be a 3-phase immersion heater every time. This can also be an installation with 3 single-phase heaters, for example. And here we again have all the technical data for your information at the later point. One thing that is very important to consider for retrofitting, for example, if you already have a 3-phase load, which should be retrofitted by the Actor 9S, then be aware of one important fact. This load needs to have a neutral conductor, which means, technically speaking, it needs to be connected by a star connection, not by a delta connection. This is essential that the Actor 9S can detect the nominal power of the load. So yes, it also works with smaller loads. It also works with 4.5 kilowatt loads. It also works with 6 kilowatt loads. Therefore, not even a setting has to be adjusted on the device. They are able to detect the nominal power of the load on their own. So it's very comfortable. But for all of you who wants to have the security that all components fit together, there are also accessory parts. We have a 3 kilowatt immersion heater, single phase in our portfolio, and also a 3-phase 9 kilowatt immersion heater if you like. I think I already mentioned all the advantages here. I want directly come to the point where we come together with SMA. So where do you get the required information from? Of course, this info is available on our website. Here in the download section, you can search for SMA and you see the manual how to integrate our solution into the SMA Home Manager. And by the way, there is also a manual for the off-grid systems that I've mentioned to integrate the Actor into the off-grid frequency control systems with SMA Sunny Island. But this is a side story for today. We are talking about on-grid solutions. And there are 2 ways to be controlled by SMA. Way number 1 is the signal source SMA Home Manager. What is the advantage there? The Mypb solution is visible in the visualization of SMA Home Manager. We are integrated in the energy management. We are integrated in the planning. As far as I know, the Home Manager also considers weather forecasts and customer behavior. And this also is a very important fact to have a smart home system. So this is the advantage here. We are integrated in the smart home and we can be seen here. The disadvantage that was mentioned by some of our customers is that the control principle SMA Home Manager is relatively low. It's happening 1 time per minute, and actually it could be much faster. And therefore we have the second communication setting for SMA, which offers another way to communicate with them. The advantage here with SMA direct meter connection is that we are controlling the power output very fast and very accurate. One time per second for each single watt. The balance in the feed-in point is ensured by Mypb. So if you just switch on the light in your living room, we will immediately reduce the power output to ensure the balance in the feed-in point again. So this is the advantage here. The disadvantage is we are not integrated in this colorful visualization then. So every principle has its certain advantages. Both is possible for our brands. Here we have an example, Actor 9S, a 9 kilowatt unit, a system with out a battery in that case. And here we see that even when the control signal just is just provided one time per minute, it's actually completely enough for the application in a private single family home. We see the accuracy of the excessive power management, which we are doing on the electric heating element. And the information is provided by the SMA Home Manager to our power stage in that case. So we are not detecting the energy in the feeding point ourselves. SMA is the boss and the Home Manager tells us what to do. Then we have another example. It's an ACLVE now. It's now also an integration in the SMA Home Manager. Here we have an example with a battery. And here we see that from the moment forward where the sunny island is on the maximum of the charging power, we already start scaling up our power output to use this amount of excessive power. And from the moment forward where the battery reaches the state of full charge, we increase our power output to a maximum. Our power output with the ACLVE is limited to 3 kilowatts, but I already mentioned, of course, it would be possible to control more than one ACLVE with the SMA Home Manager, and then we would be able to use the rest of the remaining excessive energy as well. And in the afternoon, when there is not that much excessive power available, we linearly decrease our power output to ensure that we just use the amount of energy that is available from the PV system. By the way, one thing that I have not mentioned yet, there is always the option for boost backup heating with the Mypb devices. So for example, if you have a bad weather day, when you have a cloudy day and you want to have a comfortable shower in the evening, then of course we can ensure a minimum comfort temperature in the boiler as well. This is an option for all our solution, and the factory preset is deactivated when the device leaves our company. So when you pick it out from the box, the setting is for excessive power only, but it's very easy to change this setting. Yeah, here again we see once the state of charge reaches 100%, we start scaling our power output up to a maximum. And there are a lot of examples for SMA already in the field. This is a very well proven solution for many years now. There are project examples also for off-grid systems, also for remote area systems in the Alps, in the desert. We have done a lot of projects together with SMA. There's even an example of a Belgium research station on the South Pole where they are using excessive energy for melting the snow to provide drinking water to the scientists there. And the excessive power management is done by the Acle power stages, where we control the electric heaters to provide the water. Okay, this is something that needs to be calculated for the customers. Here we have an online tool. It's the Mypb Power Coach. And with a few settings, you can do a planning for your individual system yourself. It's also a very well recommended tool for planners, for installers. You can compare different variants for the building in this tool. You can do the technical simulation, but it gives you the chance to do an economic analysis as well. It's very recommended from my side, because it gives you the background, it gives you the support for your argumentation, for your sales activity, because our customers that we share together, they need to have hard numbers for their projects, and this is what we are going to provide here. And I think this was more than enough from my side now. Isabel, when you switch on your mic again, it's up to you to present your part now.
Okay, really interesting. Thank you. Well, then I just want to more or less to repeat what you say, but from the SMA side. So the first that we are trying is to make 100% of energy management. It means that to use the energy when it is produced, and it's more or less what you are doing with your devices, or what we try to do with the Mypb devices. And maybe this is better explained in the further graphics, but the point I wanted to show with this slide is that we are trying to do that since 2012. So we are some years with a practice about how to use the energy directly, and in this way to be more ecological and economic, or make it the system more economical, friendly also for the users. So first of all, the systems or the components for this kind of systems will be PV inverter and the Sunny Home Manager. The right hand was talking about the Sunny Home Manager. So this is the point that is, maybe I will explain it later. It's a meter that you connect on the grid connection point, and that help us to take the control of the loads. So in this case, the first component will be the PV inverter. It can be a Sunny Boy or Sunny Tri-Power. The Sunny Home Manager, the energy meter. And another components are also possible to be installed. That will be to enlarge the system or make the system more efficient. One of these components will be a battery inverter. It can be the Sunny Boy storage with a high voltage battery, or a Sunny Island with a low voltage battery. It's the biggest difference between both. It's also possible to install an electrical vehicle charger to use also the energy to charge our electrical car. But and another point, and you can see it, I don't know if you see my mouse, you can see this is still not present by SMA. It will be present next summer. It's also to install a hybrid inverter. This inverter, or we will launch it this summer, is the Sunny Tri-Power Smart Energy. This inverter is a 3-phase inverter, that hybrid inverter. It means it's an inverter where it is possible to install PV and a battery. And combining both, we have PV and battery system that it makes possible better energy management in case it's switched. It can be also working with just PV, but I cannot talk a lot about that because, as I say, it will be present this summer. So, just keep in mind that SMA will have also soon a hybrid inverter. You will not need 2 inverters like until now. Until now we are doing like this. We have a PV inverter and a battery inverter separately. But this is, this will come soon. The hybrid one. So why energy management? Well, as we were talking about, the important is to use the energy when it is produced. So we have here the PV production of a sunny day, and what happens when the loads are working like normally. So you can see there are some loads in the nights, and here it is marked that we have this load in the first hours of the evening that unfortunately cannot be supplied with the PV energy. So this is these loads, if these kind of loads are for example an electrical vehicle, an immersion heater, and so on, a heat pump, these kind of loads can be shifted into the PV production, like here you can see in the second graphic. And once we shift it into the PV production time, we can supply them directly with our own energy produced. So it is important that every load is shifted into this production line in a way to save energy costs, because if we use it directly with our PV energy. We don't need to take this energy from the public grid. So we save this money from our electrical bill at the end of the month. So it is really important. This energy management is really important. It's the first step to make the system cost effective, and second, to be more independent from the grid, from the public grid. So an example, or the example that we are talking about today, is to warm free of cost. And how is possible? Well, with the SMA Sun Energy Meter, or the energy system home, together with the home manager, we are able to use the own produced energy that cannot be used in any other way. I mean that the own produced energy is first used to supply our own loads, and then if there is any excess of energy, it is used to charge or to warm water. In this way, is to power technique thermal loads. So in this way, it's possible to save this heat cost at the end of the month, and it's really environmental friendly. So in this way, you take more effectiveness of your PV plant. So there are these two advantages, I can say, 2 or 3. First of one is that you warm sustainable and save costs, and there are a lot of compatible devices. Between them, the devices for Mypb. So, well, in this way, we create we increase the system efficiency and the application, or the different applications. So it's really a good way to use our produced energy. So more about this kind of systems, the heart of the system, they are, how to say, the brain of the system is the Sony Home Manager. Why? Because they get the information from different points. It gets the information from the grid connection point, that this is a meter. It's a 1 or single phase or 3-phase meter. It's connected on the grid connection point. And in this way, it knows if the energy is taken from the grid or feed into the grid. So we are knowing what is happening here at the grid connection point, if we are using energy or feeding energy, and then it decides what to do with the energy. If we have excess of energy, it starts different loads, like the heater, for example. It takes care of the energy flow of the another loads, for example, and is compatible, of course, with the PV inverter or battery inverter in case that you wish to install a battery inverter. And of course, it's knowing what is producing in this moment and where the energy is flowing. So another point, this home manager has a weather forecast. So normally it prepares your system or your loads depending of the weather forecast for the next day. So it makes the system more efficiency in case of take decisions about how to use the energy. It takes a detailed load forecast. It means it learns about how are you consuming your loads every day, and base it in this load forecast taking days as a base. So it knows how you more or less are using your energy every day. It knows which will be the weather forecast, and it knows what is flowing in this moment in the system. And with this information, it is able to switch on and off different loads. For this reason, is an intelligent energy management, or an intelligent energy manager. So an important point for this intelligent energy manager that we are talking today is warming with solar energy. And I will explain how we do it more or less. So first of all, we have seen some graphics presented by Reinhard, where we have seen that in the first moment when the sun rises, we start to supply first the important loads of the home with the PV energy directly. And then we try, if there is a battery, we try to recharge the battery with the battery inverter. If not, we are starting to start some other loads, like, for example, the heater, the washing machine, the dishwasher, and so on. These loads should be pre-configured or pre-charged, or you should prepare your washing machine before, in the morning, and then the Sunny Home Manager will start it when it sees that there is enough energy available to make the washing process. So this information is important for the device, and with this information, it can handle when to turn on and off every load. So another advantage of the heater devices, well, when we are using the devices from Mypv, we can see them in our Sunny portal. So we have the visualization not only for the PV produced in this moment, we are also able to see when the system starts the heater, and during how many time or how much time, how much kilowatts where it took to warm the water, and so on. It's a really easy and cheap solution for system integration. It's always able to be integrated. I mean, you can start with just with the system with PV, and after that, after some months or 1 year, to integrate this solution. It's really flexible, and well, we have direct communication via SpeedWire, so it's really really easy to integrate and to communicate with it and to show what it's doing. I have copied here a list of compatible protocols or devices with the Home Manager, because, as I said before, not only the heater is compatible with the Home Manager, also some washing machines or dishwashers. So, there is I think you will get the presentation after that, so you will have also the link to this document. And in any case, it's also in our website. So as I was saying before, we have our visualization in Sunny Portal. And in Sunny Portal, you are able, maybe this is too small, this screenshot, but you are able to see every month or every day the energy flow of your installation. So you can see, you can give different colors for your different devices, and you see how the year was working, or the day, or the month, or the week. So this is an example of, unfortunately too small, but where you can see which loads were working and where you feed the energy of the PV, or which devices were supplied from the PV energy of your system. So one commissioning example. Normally with the Sunny Home Manager, the commissioning of the Sunny Home Manager is made in Sunny Portal. So you just need to pre-cable all with the Ethernet cable between devices normally, and once all the devices are connected, you are able to make the commissioning through Sunny Portal. So you just need to sync into the Sunny Portal and follow the process. It's really easy. So I'm not sure if you see it, maybe it's small, but you can add devices, and under add devices, you will see the Mypb device, the ELVA device. You just need to add it, and it is in the system, in the portal, visible in the Sunny Portal side. So another tips and tricks available to be seen in the portal are one tricky for me is really important is to say that in systems with batteries, to deactivate the battery precharging, how to say that, the precharging, so the battery charge forecast as a tricky in case you have it. And another things is to give to control what to do with the loads. So you can control here the external energy supply, the PV power generation, and so on, to give more flexibility to the Sunny Home Manager to act or to active any load or to turn on and off some loads. So it is important to activate these functions. And maybe another point is I'm not sure if in your countries it is needed to make a limitation of the full energy production of your system. For example, in Germany it is needed. Once you have a PV system, you are not able to feed more than 70% of the full PV production. So this 30% will be missed or will be lost because cannot be fit into the grid. So this is another point, another option that we have to choose here. And this give the Sunny Home Manager the information to use this excess of power or excess of power regeneration to warm the water, for example, with the Elva device, to don't miss or to don't lose this extra energy production. So in this case, we are waiting to this point at the middle of the day when we have the extra production to warm the water with the Elva. So we are not missing this information. We are missing this production or this power. We are reusing it to warm the water. So it's a really good option to use them or to maximize the PV production of your system. So, more about that. We have a lot of compatible components. Here are some links to our documents available in our download site, in our website. And as I say, I'm not sure if you will get this presentation at the end. I think yes. So you have the links there to access to this information. Maybe this information, so the document changes. So maybe these links are just available or are just working now, and in some weeks no more. But for this reason, I say always that in the download site are also available. And another point is we have also our simulation system. Thanks to Sunny Design Web. I don't know if you know that. In this case, you are able, or with Sunny Design, you are able to calculate or to design your own PV plant. And you are also able to calculate how the use of the energy can be. If you have a system with self-consumption, you can see if you don't have energy management, what are you producing, and what is the solar use with energy management. Here is an example where I made a calculation, and in the calculation, without energy management, I could use typically just 20.4% of the produced energy, or the simulated energy during a year. With energy management, up to 33.6% during a year. So in case that we have a modular a heater, an Elva, for example, we use up to 55% in this simulation of the produced energy. So it's really really a high jump. I mean, you go from 20.4 to 55% of the use of your own energy, and it means, if we calculate the cost saved, that you can save around 300 euros yearly if you have this energy management plus a heater like the Elva. So it's really cost efficiency at the end of the year to have this combination. So I think I'm ready with my part. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm back online. Isabel, just stay with us for a moment. There was a question for you from Dorin. Maybe you can scroll your chat a little bit to the top. It was a question for you. Why SMA took so long to make a hybrid inverter? Because all the other have one. Will you make a hybrid, and when will it be available?
Well, it will be available this summer for German, Austria, and Switzerland, I think, and further countries will come soon. Why we took so long? We don't believe a lot in this kind of solutions because, maybe it's cheaper than to have two devices, but when it broke the complete system. So you don't have any energy. But it will come soon, and every competitor has one, so we should have also one. And that's that's all I can say at the moment.
Okay. What I want to say to you is that, of course, we are going to send the slides to all our listeners, and I assume that the links that you mentioned will work. In the meantime, there was also an answer in the chat regarding the Actor 9S. I think Talal already answered it, but to be clear, we can control just one output after the other simultaneously. While one output is linear power control, the other ones can be switched on or off. So we can do the linear power control on each one of these three outputs, but not at the same time simultaneously. So it's not possible to have 30% on output 1 and 70% on output 2. This is not the way it works. Then Isabel also showed us a few screenshots from the SMA portal where she described how to integrate the Mypb solutions there. Of course, this is also available in a step-by-step manual on the website. You have already seen it on one of the first slides, but for this info center at the download area of the website, it's of course available. When you just enter SMA there, then you find the manual with a lot of clear screenshots and a real good explanation which describes step by step what to do to integrate the device in the SMA portal. And one thing that I also want to recommend is YouTube. One thing that is very interesting is this actor commissioning video. So unfortunately it's in German, but the English subtitles and other languages subtitled work pretty good on YouTube. We used the camera to record how easy it is and how few steps are necessary to do the commissioning of the device. And I think it's a very good chance to get in touch for the first time with the solution and to see how easy it is to do the adjustments there. And I also give you many tips and tricks on the way. So at the end, the whole video took 16 minutes. But yeah, it's a very good way to pre-inform yourself. Mypb as a developer and as a manufacturer is an Austrian company. We are not selling to the end customer directly, but we have a very well developed distribution network, especially in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and in many other countries. The distribution network is on the rise. It's something that Talal takes care about. I have seen that there are some participants today with us from Belgium. We already have a wholesaler there, so check our website. You will probably find some wholesalers to get in touch with. Okay, to sum up, it's about, what is the English explanation? Sector coupling. It's not only about using PV power for electricity, it's also about using it for EVs, for cars. It's about using it for heating and for hot water preparation. The last two examples are the topics where Mypb is dealing with. So hot water from photovoltaics is our core business, and SMA is one of our most important compatible partner systems. We are per definition open for third-party control, which means that we also give the communication protocols of these two solutions to anyone who wants to work with them. But in combination with SMA, it's something that is available out of the box. The integration into the SMA portal is already done, and it's a very well proven solution for many years now. Isabel, now it's the time to say some more words if you like. Or Talal, are there some questions left that we have to answer? So Talal, as our international sales manager, is available for you, ladies and gentlemen, for requests. I'm personally available also for technical information anytime. I'm going to send you the slides of the presentation of today in a few minutes, and then you also have my contact data, and it would be a pleasure to get in touch with you directly, of course. So Talal, now you're back online. I see you.
Yeah. So one short question was Andreas. He was interested more on the kilowatt ratio for how much liter is feasible. So you can explain him more into the detail about how to use Mypb Power Coach. And yeah, that's
yeah. So one person with a common European lifestyle uses 50 liters of hot water per day. And we can calculate this, how much energy does this mean, and it's a relatively small amount. It's just 2.3 kilowatt hours per person per day. But actually this is the power that the energy that we are consuming in the end. So it does not include thermal losses for pipings. It does not include thermal losses for tanks. So overall, it needs, of course, more than 2.3 kilowatt hours per person to do the hot water heating. But when we imagine a 5 kilowatt peak system during summertime in Europe, it creates an energy amount of, let's say, 35 kilowatt hours per day, where we can only use approximately 1/3 directly in the building when we do not have a battery and when we do not have a Mypb solution. So more than 20 kilowatt hours are available in theory, which would be fed into the grid. And of course, we can take this excessive energy to do the hot water heating, and we can easily cover our hot water needs during spring, summer, and autumn. And for all PV systems with a high inclination, I'm talking about an inclination of the panels of more than 45 degrees, maybe this means that the panels remain free of snow during winter time as well. And then we can also support the heating system in December and January. Okay, anything we can answer for you?
I think I had two questions. The first one, I wrote down the answer, but I was not sure. The question was if it will be possible, or it will be, if SMA plans to have a Sunny Boy storage 3-phase. Well, Sunny Boy storage 3-phase, not, but Sunny Tri-Power as a battery inverter, as a grid tie inverter, yes. We will have two models, one 30 kilowatts and another one 50 kilowatts. and I hope to present them soon. It means in Q3, Q4 this year. So we will have a three-phase solution soon. As I said, 30 and 50 kilowatts. And another question was more or less the same, but not grid tie, off-grid solution, three-phase. And yes, there will be the same size, 30 and 50 kilowatts. And I hope to have it next year in, well, also Q3, Q4, 2022. So yeah, first one grid tied this year, 2021, at the end of this year, and the off-grid solution at the end of next year. And if there are no more questions, I really thank you for your attention and for the invitation to this webinar.
Yeah, thank you also from my side to you, ladies and gentlemen, and of course also to you, Isabel. It's a real pleasure every time to do the webinar together with you. I think today was our fourth appointment that we have done, and yeah, this is really a good cooperation and a good partnership between SMA and Mypb. Yeah. So it's up to me to say goodbye wherever you are. Have a nice afternoon, a nice evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all the best to you, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye from me here in Austria. Ciao.